want to thank everybody for coming to the July the 8th regular planned meeting of the Arkansas Planning and Zoning Commission. We have some agendas on the banister there. If anyone wants to follow along, we'll take each item in turn. First item would be a roll call. Ms. Velvet?
Anita Pickett.
Here.
Jason Dupree.
Here.
Anderson Neal.
Here.
Dr. Hickerson.
Here.
Chris Owens is not here at the moment. Corey Mobbs is not here at the moment. And Chairman Boots Thomas.
Here. So we have a quorum and can conduct business. Second item would be the adoption of the summarized minutes of the June 10th meeting. Everybody had an opportunity to look at those. Are there any additions, subtractions, or edits? Anyone? If not, the chair accepts a motion.
I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Motion and second.
Second.
This will be a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, item number 3 would be a rezoning request by Jessica and David Leefords. Am I saying that right, I hope? 16 Shanna Lane, Texarkana, Texas, to rezone the property located at 6212 Tennessee Road from R1 Rural Residential to A1 Limited Mixed Use for the purpose of operating a berry farm. Property is legally described as a plot northwest, northeast, section 35, township 15 south, range 28 west, Miller County, Arkansas, containing 4.423 acres more or less, and it is located in Ward 1. Ms. Jamie?
Okay, this is the property here. This is Tennessee Road. This is North Rondo Road, I think. It'll rain everywhere but at my house.
A little bit of weather.
This is the property here. It's a little over 4 acres. For reference, later on, we did have 2 complaints filed about the rezoning. One of them lives right here, and the other one is right over here. It's currently zoned R1, as is everything else around it. There is water out there available. There is no sewer out there. I believe Mr. and Ms. LaFord are here. There were 2, like I said, 2 complaints filed. One of them was in your packet. The other one I left a copy on the desk. It came in after the packets had already gone out.
Yes.
And they are opposed to a commercial operation in a residential area.
Thank you.
And I believe they are here, and the LaFords are here.
All right.
As long as we have electricity.
So, any questions for Miss Jamie from anyone? So I see that across the road is vacant. The site is vacant, and to the west of the site is also vacant. To the south is vacant and residential, and to the east is residential. So we have residences on both the south and the east, vacant everywhere else. Okay.
I'm over the southwest corner of it.
Yes. All right. No questions of Miss Jamie, anyone? All right. Thank you, Miss Jamie. Who's here to speak in favor of this, or the applicants? You step to the podium and give your name for the record, please, and I'm sure we'll have some questions. We'll let you make a statement.
If you would, state your name and address.
Where we reside.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so Jessica LaForest, 16 Sarah Lane, Texarkana, Texas.
Okay.
And I'm her husband, David LaForest, 16 Sarah Lane, Texarkana, Texas.
Okay. So we understand you want to run a berry farm there.
We're just going to do, or we're hoping to just do a U-pick where they
Just,
come and.
just kind of give us a broad overview of what you intend to do on the property.
We're just going to pick or plant blackberries and blueberries and just do a kind of a U-pick where people can come and pick fruit just those few months when they're available in the summer. Just low-key, basically, I wanted to plant a bunch of blackberries and blueberries. I don't want to pick them and sell them, so we wanted people to come kind of get them as they wanted them.
Okay, so you're going to grow on the property.
Mhm.
Are you also going to sell on the property?
No, I mean, there might be a fee to come pick the property, to come pick the berries, but
And what percentage of the property do you intend to use as agriculture?
well, you can see on the, we're building our house on the one side, and then we're going to, you can see the kind of tree break in the middle. I was going to do blackberries and blueberries on both different sides.
So you intend to live there also?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right. Any questions from anyone?
This may be more for Jamie, but so, the way it's zoned right now, they could live there, they could grow all the berries they wanted. The reason it needs to be rezoned is because they want to allow people to come pick for a fee.
My name is Michael Middleton. I live on Rolling Ridge Drive, 801, at the address listed under Sarah McBride. Yes, sir. If I could interrupt you for just a minute, I'll be more than glad to give you a chance to the podium where you can speak your effort, and everybody gets a vote. Everybody gets to tell their story. So, just thank you for being here. I know you're concerned. All right. So we're discussing the Berry Farm. If you have any questions of the applicants, they're at the podium. When do you plan to build your home? When do you start? What's your timetable for that, do you think?
We're going to move into there's a mobile home on the property. We're going to move in January, and then we're putting our house up
Okay.
for sale in Texarkana or Red Lick. And
So you begin your
proceeds
act.
from that we'll use to build our house.
All right. Well, our A1 zone allows for agricultural uses also on residential properties in the rural areas. That was the reason that we created that zone. The fact that you're going to live there makes it doable. If you weren't going to live there, then it may be problematic. If you're just going to use it as a straight commercial farming operation, well, that's a different animal. But if you're going to live there and also do a little agriculture, well, that's permissible. So as a land use, so that's what we're talking about. So your home relative to Tennessee Road will be toward the front of the property?
We're planning on building, we have somebody now putting together a site plan, but we're planning on building on the right side. So, the east side. So we've got there's the mobile home that's on the property.
Okay.
We're gonna plan on building a house here, and then we may have a storage building here for equipment, for the berry farm.
All right, so
We're gonna live right here, so.
your planning will be on the west side, and your home will be on the east side.
Yeah, most of our living will be on this side, and then, we're gonna do we'll be doing the berry rows this way and this way.
Okay.
Are there going to be specific hours that people can come and pick berries, and how is that going to be? Are you going to be there to,
Yeah, so I plan on being there. This is kind of my thing because I've worked at the Southwest Research Center and did a lot of berry trials for my master's. So this is just, I'm going to be here. I want them to pick it when the food's right. It's kind of what determines when it is. But it's not going to be late, and we'll do whatever we need to do. We're not trying to cause a problem with any of the neighbors or anything like that. We're just going to have people come pick it because I don't want to pick all of it and then cart it somewhere and try to sell it.
so it'll be all day, part of the day, or?
Probably just in the morning, because usually
Okay.
in June or July it'll be hot.
Okay.
So, and then if you pick it in the afternoon, it's kind of, hot for you. And then this lasts as long.
It's really the picking's only a couple of months a year,
Yeah.
with blackberries and blueberries.
Okay.
And I'm picking the varieties that do it all together, so that we don't have to
So we're
be
gonna,
out there in August.
we're gonna grow the berries either way, so we just thought it might be a way to.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, we wanted to have the option to, have the agricultural stuff going on if you wanted to, we have 4.5 acres.
Okay.
Those
Well, there's some, the A1 zone, Miss Jamie, has some limiting factors on retail kind of stuff, commercial, if I remember. I don't remember the details. Is that correct? Am I correct on that?
Is agriculture is allowed.
Yes.
They allow things like berry sales and jelly and little farmer's market kind of.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're
That's-
trying to follow any of the regulations.
All right.
Just trying to get it.
Okay. Any other questions? Anyone? Thank you both very much. All right, so if there's anyone here other to speak in favor, step to the podium. If not, if there anyone here to speak in opposition, please come forward. You guys choose who's first.
Thank you, I appreciate it very much. I'm Leila Kathleen Brown, I live at 6110 Tennessee Road.
Okay.
Arkansas. As you can see, our property completely surrounds one portion of that,
Yeah,
which is basically sitting directly on top. Now, I have no problem with someone growing a farm. I
Mhm.
do have concerns with random strangers coming in at any time and picking and coming through, because that invades our privacy. We both work for the depot, we both work very long, strenuous hours.
Yeah.
We have strangers coming and going, and Tennessee Road and Rolling Ridge is very, very busy roads. It's hard to keep up the road maintenance out there anyway, and the high traffic. We've been out there since 1995. My son and daughter-in-law live on the opposite, on Rolling Ridge. They're the opposite that are expecting their child this next year. Well, I have concerns. We have a well on our property. The drain off, where they're stating that they're wanting to put the planting, I'm concerned with, we watch the nature, we watch the deer and the birds. Well, I've done some research, and it says berry trees or whatever need to plant 2 to 2.5 feet apart. That's a 4-acre tract. Well, then you have to start netting and spraying for bugs and so forth, so you have a profit with berries or any kind of produce. That chemicals and stuff, where is that going? In the soil, in the water, in the air? How is that gonna be maintained for our area?
mm-hmm,
'Cause we wanted to be rural residential, that's why we chose to live out there. Another concern that I do have is it gonna change our tax rate? If it goes from R1 to A1 limited mix, do we face it, or can they guarantee that we're not gonna be charged any kind of corporate rate with them running an operation? That is a concern for us.
sure.
Yes, sir.
Understand that. So far as I know, just the alteration in the zoning would not affect your property at all. But I may be speaking out of turn for the tax assessors at Miller County, but I was on the Board of Equalization for 3 years, and nothing like that ever came up. So we didn't see it as a tax danger to surrounding properties. The way the properties are valued is by the net cost or the overall cost of the property in a surrounding area. If you have a home that's worth $100,000 and you're suddenly surrounded by homes that are worth $1 million, well, your chances of your taxes going up, but otherwise, no. Everybody that's around you and all the homes out there are all kind of homogeneous, so I wouldn't, for me personally, I wouldn't think that would be an issue. But,
I did do some research, and it does not say IRS has a cap on that.
yeah,
I did look into it, and it did say to check with your local authorities regarding any tax rate change.
that's
So that
correct.
concerns me.
And that would be Miller County.
Yes, sir.
All right, any other questions for Ms. Kathleen, anyone? Very good, thank you, Bam. Do you have any questions of us?
Not at this time.
Okay,
I'm gonna mull over it for a moment and see what I can come out. I mean, we welcome all of our neighbors.
Sure.
We're long-standing in the community, and we love all our neighbors like it should be. But I do have concerns with strangers pulling up right there next to my yard and at random times and not knowing who they are. Our property lines run through, and I expect my grandchild to run through that wood line to my son's house. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't want to have to constantly be on top of him to say him or her. We're expecting a figure, so.
yeah,
I'm concerned with that, with strangers being in our surroundings.
right.
And thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for your comments, appreciate it. Anyone else?
Melvin Paget, 912 Road Ridge, Baxter County, Arkansas. So, we too, we live in a house there on Road Ridge, across the street. We too like to build. Oh, that's the wrong thing.
Well, that one has one like it.
So, there's Michael neighbor, our house is like right here, not actually in this scene, but we have this property here that, a lot of this property right in there is ours, like 21 acres. So, we would like to build like right in this area. My concern, and we have a fishing pond that's right here, about a half-acre fishing pond. My concern is that as the chemicals are needed to produce good fruit, will it be drain off from fertilizer, pesticides, and such as that will go directly to our pond? We had the pond built 2 years ago. It wasn't cheap. It was like $20,000 to build a pond. And then the house is supposed to go, right there. So this map doesn't actually show the pond, but that's our property there. This is, and, I can appreciate them building a new home. I mean, that's kudos to them, because that's what we would like to do too. And then, Kathy's got a good point. I agree with Kathy on the, unknown people coming in from the surrounding area to come buy produce. And it's a great idea. Sell your produce, but have somebody come in and pick, and, if it was family and friends coming in and picking, that's different. But the advertising, our property out, come out here on our property, you're advertising on Facebook or whatever, there's gonna be some people who wanna come buy fresh produce. You can't blame them. But my question is, will it be bringing in soil amendment? They're gonna bring in 20 truckloads from south state line to compost to, I've lived out there for 30 years. The soil out here don't grow very well. It's iron ore. Now, I haven't tried to grow anything on their property. It doesn't mean that it won't grow. I know that way out this way, there was years ago a blueberry farm out there. they're good, I don't know. The traffic, the chemicals that come in for pesticides, those are my biggest deal. I mean, building a new house, I mean, that's great, that would increase the land, property values around, and all that's good. I mean, I think, welcome to the neighborhood for that, but I would be opposed for a commercial type dairy farm
Right.
business. I guess that's all. You have to know it, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, well, that's kind of mute, but I was just wondering, do they have you previously grown blueberries, and do you know, like, have you done any soil testing? Do you think it's gonna be feasible for them to actually grow there without having to do a lot of amendments to the soil?
Right. Can I go ahead and answer, or?
What is it?
I don't know how to.
How can we address the concerns of our neighbors? Come up, talk about it?
All right, well, I'll give you a chance to answer his questions, but the question is, have you done this before, and have you looked into this, and do you think it's feasible? So we'll get you an opportunity to answer that in a moment. All right, anything else?
I have no, sir, I'm with.
Any questions of us?
No.
Very good, thank you so much. All right, anyone else?
My name is Michael Middleton. I live at 801 Rolling Ridge. Thank y'all for opening your meeting for us to make comments on this. I share the concerns of my neighbors about, unknown people going through the neighborhood, having opportunities to look and see what kind of items they might or might not want to come back and walk off with at another time. My wife and I both work pretty much all day. I share the concerns of the additional traffic down that road, particularly Rolling Ridge. That's a cut through for the Genoa area.
Mm-hmm.
And the city or county does not, their current maintenance on Tennessee Road, the road is in pretty bad shape. They are doing patchwork here and there, but
When has it never been?
well, I mean, I've lived there 10 years. I've seen it much worse.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate the new road on Rolling Ridge. It's wonderful. But I do have some additional concerns related to the zoning.
Okay,
Rezoning this area, while this couple wants to do a berry farm, if it was rezoned, there are various other businesses that could go into that same property without any additional rezoning. Bait shop, I can't remember all the others, but there was quite a few other selling plant products. Basically, like they said earlier, a farmer's market. It wouldn't be by city ordinance restricted to just a berry farm. They could do whatever was within the description of that zoning. So my concern is, what other, bees and beekeeping is another business that could go there. Or it could be done in conjunction with the berry farm. Because, I mean, I've lived there 10 years, and like Melvin says, it's not very good crop growing there without bringing in additional supplements. But anyway, I would like to just speak against the motion, and I appreciate your time. And
very good. Do you have any questions for us?
no, sir, just to confirm that what I said was if they rezoned it, they could do whatever was within the allowance of that zoning designation.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I do have one more question.
Yes.
I think to change zoning, they have to do site plans and surveys and stuff. Is that part of the application package?
Well-
Or does that come later?
What we do here on the planning and zoning is land use considerations.
Okay.
And we make recommendations to the Board of Directors, and the Board of Directors has the final say. So if we vote yea or nay either way, the Board of Directors also always has the final say.
Okay, so that permits and all that would have to be done?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Very good. All right. Questions or comments from anyone? Oh, yes, please come back and we'll address your questions. Okay, so to the question of have you done this before, and do you know what your requirements would be?
Yes, so I have my master's in integrated pest management systems of blackberries and blueberries from the University of Arkansas.
Okay,
Worked with them for several years. I worked with farmers all throughout Arkansas and down. My master's actually focused on using biological controls to control pests because we were having some invasive insects. So yes, I have worked.
very good.
And the soil is acidic, which is why a lot of things won't grow. But blackberries and blueberries like acidic soil.
All right, the soil type out there, does that concern you? What's your plans there?
One side is sandy loam, the other side is a little acidic. And the blackberries and blueberries are a permanent crop and they'll do well in that kind of soil.
Is it in the sandy loam side?
Yes, also on the other side, but I haven't tested the other side yet. But the sandy loam side is.
Do you plan on fencing your property?
Yes, yes. Anything that would upset the neighbor, we would like to address. And the chemicals is a viable thing. A lot of people are very worried about chemicals.
All right,
But we would not be using chemicals that would cause any kind of harm to the environment at all.
so it's not your plan to use chemicals?
Was my plan to use mostly organic chemicals?
Yes, yes, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working on my PhD in environmental science. I just wrote it.
I'm thinking in your case, was it Miller County Extension Office, or they're not a regulatory, they're more of an assistance or a helper, but would you be under, help me out here because I'm not fluent in that, would you be under any sort of county or state regulation concerning your operation?
Like that would kind of oversee what we were using.
Mm-hmm.
Not in Arkansas that I know of.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. Okay. Very good.
I guess, I mean, for us, my wife asked a question to one of the members here, and she said, we want to have berries, and we may have a berry farm.
Right.
We were advised to apply for this permit.
Yes, yes.
So that's why we did it. We're not trying to upset the neighbors. We're not going to be polluting the environment. We're going to be living on the property. So obviously, we're concerned about the environment and
Right.
on our property and our neighbor's property. So the chemicals, there's not, like I said, my wife has a master's degree from UVA on biological control. So
Right.
that's no chemicals. So we have blackberries on our property in Red Lake. We never use chemicals, and they do great.
You mean fertilizer?
They fertilize, but we don't, we're not putting pesticides or anything on. So I don't think that's gonna be an issue. We're gonna grow the berries anyway, whether we sell them or not, so it's not gonna change. There's no regulations on, even if we were using pesticides, which we're not,
Yeah.
the berries are gonna be there anyway.
Oh, I understand. Yes, yes.
So
Okay.
I don't think that's really, it's kind of a moot point, really.
Right.
The stranger point is, I understand I'm not going to have strangers coming in. And we could work it out where it's just a certain time, we can go privacy fencing, I have no problem doing any of this.
This side of the property over here, if we grew the berries mostly on this side, the entrance would be over here, not over here by Chris and Kathy. And so, and this whole side is all fixed. So this is the backyards of all the people that live on Rolling Ridge. So we
Yeah,
We're not really trying to make a big profit, we're just want to be able to get, the berries that we do grow, we're either gonna give them away, or we may sell them for a little.
certain.
It's not gonna be a, I'm an orthodox prosthetist, I make prosthetic limbs for a living, I don't need berry farm, I don't need a berry farm to survive, you understand?
Right.
So it's just something fun we want to do, and we don't want to upset people. We just, we're going to be moving in the neighborhood, we want to get along with the neighbors, and we just thought it'd be fun to have a berry farm.
Great. Very good. Any questions from anyone? Thank you so much.
I would like to add one thing.
Okay, please.
A couple minutes. I appreciate it. I'm sorry, I can't say that word, I don't have my glasses.
No, you're fine, you're fine.
Just a moment. We, along this line, we have elderly neighbors
Okay,
that, they do not get out. We had one neighbor that had just passed. He's a prominent member of the community, Mr. Reed. And his son carries on that property. This property right here where they're wanting to build is my son and daughter-in-law that are expecting a child on this side. And then we're on this side, so we border all there, and then Melvin and Robin's property there, and then on this other side is Michael here. So we are completely around on that. On Rolling Ridge Drive, we have a lot of elderly people that we have to watch getting into the fields that we have caught hiding out, either they're on drugs or something that comes off that main road. And we have caught them, and had to call the police because they get in grown up areas and flashlights and things, they broke in. His mother-in-law's storage building out there, stove stuff, we don't want the added traffic and stuff of individuals trying to come out there and go around there, and it does concern me.
Yes.
It concerns our privacy, and as you can see, the way our properties line up, we're completely on like a hole around them, and then we have our elderly people. We watch out for our elderly neighbors.
yes,
I mean, when I was pregnant with my son, which is gonna be 28, they fed me plums, I have no problem with you growing berries. I do have a problem with chemical use that could affect the land, the water, or the people coming in there that we have no idea who they are. I mean, we remain rural out there and a small community. We have a really good watch team, and we watch all of our neighbors. We have Utah Bardell that live down the street. We know all of our neighbors, and we welcome them into the neighborhood. But I do have those concerns, so I just wanted to
sure.
bring that up. And there is a berry farm in the 9,000 block of, a blueberry farm that's 9,000 block. We're 6110. It's right past the Boy Scout camp.
Yep.
And they are commercial outside the city limits. Back in 97, y'all annexed us into where we're city limits. And then now they're wanting to rezone from R1 to A1 limited mix. This concerns me. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Very good.
So, I guess, one of the elderly people, she probably my mother-in-law, but she's Texas naval, so she lives right there, right here, that's mother-in-law, so she's got that 4 acres. Sister-in-law, down here, she didn't come to the meeting. I just kind of want to reiterate, and then I've got a question.
Yes,
So I'm gonna reiterate, our pond is not, it's a fishing pond, I got stocked it twice with crappie and, not bass, but crappie and, bluegill. So, and that's too expensive now. Hopefully, the runoff and stuff, the natural runoff and stuff, probably not gonna cause damage to fish, but it could. I mean, it sounds like she knows what she's doing by her breed, and, excessive chemicals or sprays or that kind of stuff. It's gonna be expensive, so they're not gonna wanna overdo it. But excessive fertilizer and chemicals is gonna go, if it rains real heavy, they go, this is where water comes down through there. And then my other question though was, did y'all receive federal grant funds from state or federal
No,
farm.
no,
But-
it's gonna purchase them from the Wild Berry Farm. They do the tissue culture.
So y'all got to keep it in pockets to buy them and do what you want without having to
We're
do it.
gonna buy them.
I don't have to answer that.
Okay, sorry, that was kind of rude, but my thinking of it is, it's gonna be a common expense and having somebody come in and check is a good idea, except for the fact that it brings in retail traffic. if you will. And I think if you had hours posted, you know, we only operate from 8 AM to 12 PM, whatever, that would be something that. Right, that's in Michael was saying, this opens up the gateway, that'll let, you know, you can have a bake shop there later, you know, once this gets approved, if it gets approved, then it could be a segue for a lot of others.
Isn't that the purpose of agency, try to allow people to use it, things in the community?
We're not doing.
We didn't institute A1 practice, that was something that people here in Texarkana, Arkansas approved,
Right,
for use in the city. So we're just applying it.
okay,
I don't think we're,
We're just trying to follow the rules because we don't wanna upset people.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Very good, thank you. All right. Any comments, questions, discussions from anyone?
Sounds like they've got a crime problem as it is without berry farms there, so I don't know that the folks coming to pick berries are gonna increase that issue, right? Criminals are gonna be criminals. I don't think the auspice of coming to pick berries to scout neighboring properties is, I just don't see that as a concern.
Also, you have, to me, you have people who know what they're doing. And it's just not amateurs coming in planting berries who don't know what they're doing. I applaud that you do have a degree and you know what you're doing. So that means a lot.
And for those that are concerned about pesticides or chemicals, the Arkansas State Plant Board is the agency that has jurisdiction for that. So if you have any concerns about something like that, just contact them. Of course, the Cooperative Extension Service would also could give you some information on that also. So, but sounds like she knows what she's doing, and I don't think that would be an issue.
So a little history on our A1 zone. We enacted that, 2 years ago, Miss Jamie, I think, thereabout?
Oh, no, it's been, I've been back in planning 2 years, so it's been probably 3 years.
3 years ago, yeah. We recognized that when the city annexed all of that property from the current, in 2000, we went way out in the rural areas, out 82 and Tennessee Road. That's probably, that round of annexation was when you guys were all taken into the city. Those are large lot rural areas. Most of those people still believe themselves Miller County residents and not Texarkana, Arkansas residents. They've been there forever and ever. So the city extended its services and police protection, fire, and out that way, and took in some property. So it left some uses that were large lots. There were people that had cattle, horses, little limited agriculture, and there was no provision for them if they wanted to build structures on their property to benefit with that. So we had some, in our rural residential or in our residential zones, you had to build a primary house before you could build a barn, for instance. So, and the agricultural uses were not allowed in the residential uses. So we had to address that issue because it was A lot of that stuff was grandfathered in, and it was what was actually going on the property. So without the proper regulation or the proper zoning designations, it was a non-conforming use and limited the owner's rights to what they could do with their property, which was never an intended thing. So we added the A1 mixed-use zone for the intended purpose of allowing large lot residential rural areas to be able to utilize their property for limited agricultural use if they chose to. People have horses, and a few people still raise cattle, and then there's some limited row crop agriculture, some little truck farm things, and some other stuff that was taking place. But we found the largest amount of it was cattle and horses. So in order to make that completely legal and allow them to function on that lot and to do the things that needed to be done is why we did the thing. Now, we never intended for the A1 zone to become high-value agriculture. We never intended for it to be row crop. In fact, I think row crops are not allowed in the traditional sense. We intended it to be residential, limited agricultural use. And we've made a provision in there so that if you were doing that, like if you had a pea patch, then you could sell your peas if you wanted to. Or in this case, a berry farm or orchard if you wanted to, pecans, or sell your cattle, that kind of thing. So it was intended to be compatible with the other residential uses that were in that area, but to also allow mixed or limited agricultural use. So the purpose of our committee here, we're not as I mentioned earlier, we're not the final word. The board of directors is the final word. If we rule against this, you can appeal to the board of directors. If we rule for this, you can still also appeal to the board of directors because they have to make the final designation in the rezoning. So our purpose on this board is to assess the land use, the location, and to determine if that land use is appropriate to that location, if it's the highest and best use of the property for the benefit of the citizens of Texarkana, Arkansas, and the city. So that's our purpose. Just accept that as a general explanation. Hope that answers some of your questions. So that's what we do. All right, having said that, if there are no other comments from anyone, no other questions from anyone, then the chair will accept a motion.
I move that we grant the rezoning.
All right, we have a motion to approve. We need a second. Would you call the roll, please?
Anita Pickett,
Yes.
Jason Dupree,
Yes.
Anderson Neal,
Yes.
Dr. Hickerson,
Yes.
Chris Owens,
Yes.
and Chairman Thomas.
Yes. All right, so the motion passes from us. It'll go forward to the Board of Directors. When, Miss Jamie?
First Monday in August.
First Monday in August. So anyone being interested in this issue and wants to continue the debate, please, I encourage you to go to the Board of Directors meetings and state your approvals or disapprovals as you did here tonight. We thank you very much for your candid comments, and let the Board of Directors make their final judgment. Thank you. All right. Item 4.
Item 4 is the issue, or the truck stop ordinance. I have had no luck getting a phone number from anyone at the corporation that owns Flying J. that
Okay.
knows anything about the zoning.
All
I
right.
have sent a letter to their corporate office and to their registered agent, telling them that we are recommending that we rezone it if this ordinance passes.
Okay? Yeah, I read your letter.
I've made all the changes to the ordinance that we have asked. If y'all want to vote on that tonight, if you want to look at it again.
Have you heard back from them as yet?
Now,
Should,
if we don't rezone them, and then they decide they want to expand, then they could be rezoned then.
right.
And we're just trying to get ahead of that, but if we can't get in touch with them.
Yeah, well, our purpose for rezoning them is to make them so that they would not be a non-conforming use. And we certainly don't want to impact them. I can't see that they would object, but however, my suggestion, and I'll defer to the rest of you guys, would be to, let's wait and see what we hear back from them. And then we can move forward with that. There may be adjustments or modifications they might request to our ordinance. If you, they may want to see a copy of the ordinance, actually.
I will try.
Because right now, they're the number one thing. They're the big elephant in the room. And we want to get this right the first time.
Okay.
I would say. Is there any agreement to that? All right, so you've completed your draft of the ordinance?
Yes, did I not include that in your packet?
It was not. We couldn't vote on something we can't see. All right, so we can take that up next month then. Let's put that on the agenda one way or the other next month, and we'll see what we have going forward with that. All right. That should do that. The next item on the agenda would be election of a chairman and vice chairman.
Boots is not eligible for chairman.
This is the end of my second year of this, is not that correct?
Yeah, but you can only hold an office 1 year and then you have to sit out.
Get too powerful.
Hmm?
Get too powerful.
Too powerful? Okay. Okay, the chair accepts nomination for the chairmanship. Anyone? Someone?
No.
Get to know
How about
that.
Jason?
Corey's not here, we can nominate.
Yeah, that's usually how.
Yeah.
I've done it before, but I miss so much with work travel right now that I may make half the meetings.
Well, that's okay if we have a vice chair. That's,
Yeah.
Come on, help me out here, I'm trying to.
Did Anderson say, Anderson, he could be another great chairman.
He could. Him and I have been swapping this job back and forth, hadn't we?
Yeah, Mr. Neal.
I think she would make a great chairman.
Not ready.
No, ma'am?
No.
Come
Not
on.
yet.
Okay.
Nate Anderson there.
All right, we're going to do that. All right, we have a nomination for Mr. Anderson Neal as chairman. And a second. We need a nomination for a vice chair.
How about you? Can he be vice?
he can be vice, but he may not want to.
I'll be vice chair one more time. After my term expires in 26, I'm going to resign anyway, so that'd be good. Okay. All right, so we have a nomination for chairman, Mr. Anderson Neal, and a nomination for vice chair, Mr. Boots Thomas. So, all in favor of Mr. Anderson Neal as chairman, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, vice chair would be me. Let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Very good. So, Mr. Neal, congratulations, sir. All right, staff comments?
I wanted to tell y'all about something that the Historic District Commission, well, it's not true, the Historic District Commission is not sponsoring it. There is a group of private citizens who are working very diligently to save the Orr School over on Wall Street. It's
Okay.
the first public school in Texarkana where Scott Joplin went.
Yeah.
And we've gotten a grant to do oral histories. So any of you that know anyone who may have been a student at the Orr School or may have gone to the daycare center that was there at one time or have any memories of the Orr School, if they can get a hold of Velvet, we would love to have that.
Very good. That's a worthy cause. I remember that school from Miss Velvet and I were talking about that. I remember that school from the 50s when I was a kid, so yeah.
Well, it's gonna be a major undertaking.
Well, it's a historic thing. I mean, it's a genuine artifact that, and to still have it, for it to still be there is amazing. All right. Next meeting, August the 12th. If there's no other business, the chair accepts a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Here we go. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending.